Hello everybody, this is The Collector, and today we'll be looking at the Battletech starter paint set from Army Painter. This box set includes some speed paints and a standard paint, a metal, and a primer. Before I go into the contents, there are a couple notes I want to say. There has been some questions about, does this set come with the 2.0 Army Painter speed paints, or is it the old speed paints with the reactivation issues rebranded as a new product? I can understand how there might be issues. There might be people who are going to be turned off completely by the product if they aren't the 2.0s. Unfortunately, after doing some research, asking around and looking at other videos on this product, it doesn't seem like there is any indication that these are the 2.0 paints. With that said, we'll get started. I've already opened the box and pulled the tray out. Here are the speed paints that come with the Battletech set. It also comes with a starter brush from Army Painter, which is a decent little brush, a little synthetic, really good for this work. Here you see me pulling out the paints from the tray. And lining them up here. There's the Merrick Purple, the Steiner Blue, Hazard Yellow, the Carita Red. You have a PPC Blue, Davion Green, which is kind of like an olive drab, Liao Green. You have the standard paint Battlefield Brown. As you can see, it doesn't say speed paint on it. You have the actuator metal, which is like a gun metal. Right there it's indicated metallic paint. And you have the Battletech primer. So to start off, I will be priming the Urban Mech with the primer that comes with the box, the factory primer. This is a white primer. At first, I'll use the standard brush that comes with the set. As you can see, due to the small tip of the brush, it takes a while to get the primer on the miniature. This is not a problem. If you don't have any other tools at your disposal, this will be just fine. It just might take a while. What I do recommend is, if you have a Dollar General or like a dollar store or even a Walmart or some store that sells cheap products, you may find the cosmetics section has like 99-cent makeup brushes. These things are cheaply made, they're abundant, they've got soft bristles, and what I like to do is I like to buy some of these in bulk. I'll buy like 10 of them for like 10 bucks, and that gives you a disposable dry brush, a disposable primer brush. I mean, these things are phenomenal. If you haven't heard about the makeup brush trick, let me be the first person to tell you. Don't spend money, don't spend 20 bucks or 15 bucks on some dry brush from one of the big name brands with the big bristles that you're just gonna be rough with and destroy it. Go to your dollar store, go to a Walmart, buy these makeup brushes. Trust me, you will use them and you will love them. As you can see, what I'm doing right now is I am using that makeup brush, that 99-cent makeup brush, to speed up my priming. Why am I using it? Because the primer does not need to be put on neat. You can apply it just like you would apply a dry brushing technique. Don't wipe the paint off. Put some primer on your palette. Put the round tip of the makeup brush on there. You don't have to drain the paint. Don't gloop it on either. So FYI, you don't want it to be caked on like frosting. You want to move it around very lightly. Again, think dry brushing. You're dry brushing, or slap chop if you've heard of that term. Very similar. Just slap it on the model. Be quick, but be careful. Again, you don't want to gloop this stuff on. If you start getting some of the primer gloopy, just hit it again. Put a little pressure on there. It's not going to matter. Keep at it. Go back and forth. Go up and down. Go around. Twist the model around. Get the underside. Get beneath. Get around the arms. Get the legs. Between the legs. Get everything. Come back to it. Maybe put some of the paint on a piece of paper. Go back with sort of a drier makeup brush, and then do a nice lather around the body of the model. It will dry good. The primer is formulated to hug the model itself, so once it's dry, you'll have a nice clean model to start putting speed paint on. And once the model is primed, you can now start applying your speed paint. Again, I will be using the Merrick Purple. This is one of the speed paints that comes in the set. I really like the color. It's got a warm feel to it. It's almost like a dark magenta. As it's going on, you can already see where the paint pools and where the paint is pulling from. You're already getting these natural edge highlights before the paint is even dry. This is a beautiful color. It's probably my favorite color in the whole box. Alright, and you guys get the idea. So we'll speed this up, and here's the model completely covered in the Merrick Purple. As you can see, the model looks beautiful. This thing is completely covered. It has that nice Merrick Purple look with just that single application. That was pretty quick. I like the definition that you're getting. You're getting the shading in the recesses. You're getting shading where the paint pooled. You're getting some very nice gradients here. I mean, this is impressive. This is very cool. If you've got like 20 mechs, or you got an entire regiment you need to paint, and you need to make them all Merrick Militia Purple, you can do it with this one. Just buy a couple more bottles of that Merrick Purple, and you won't be disappointed. Alright, next I'm going to be using the Steiner Blue and the Carita Red to do the famous Merrick Red and Blue spots on the Merrick Purple mech. Starting off with the Steiner Blue, I put a little bit on my palette. Using the standard brush again, I put the paint on the mech's left panel, your right side. And then with that done, you can see a really beautiful blue panel contrasting nice with that Merrick Purple. Then on the mech's right side, your left side, you can see me applying the Carita Red on that panel. And again, it's a nice vibrant pigment. It's beautiful. I am really liking the color of these paints. And there you see the Carita Red finished on the Urban Mech. One of the things that I like about contrast paints, speed paints, and these kinds of paints is that it makes it easier for beginners to get paint on miniatures, have fun. If you're a parent and you have kids, you can give these to your kids, and a lot of these aren't toxic paints. You know, they're not gonna, even if they put some in their mouth, it's not gonna get them really sick. You know, of course, don't feed these paints to your children. They could still get sick, so just a bit of warning there. But if you're planning on just having like a nice little sit down and paint session, pull out some minis, have one of the kids put the primer on there, or have them pre-primed, and then they can just slap the speed paints and get color right on there, and it's really not that difficult to just take a nice fat brush and just lather color on something. Okay, so here's where we talk about the negatives. The speed paints in this set are evidently not the 2.0s. They do have a reactivation factor in them. I won't go into too much detail, but when I was putting the white panels on the Urban Mech, it reactivated the color. It wasn't that bad. It was a very easy fix. I just put unthinned the white primer on the panels, let it dry. Once it dried, I put the blue and the red as you saw in the video. Is this worth your hard-earned cash? That's the question that everybody has been asking me. So the answer is going to depend on a couple things. Are you an experienced painter? Do you already know how to do base coating? Do you thin your paints? Do you know how to do transitions, fades, glazing, all of that stuff? Do you already know how to do all that stuff? Do you own a wet palette? Do you already own your own primers? Do you have other paint brands? If you do, you really don't need this paint set. Okay, so this paint set isn't going to add anything new to your shelf. If you already have like an entire line of Army Painter paints, or if you've already bought a speed paint maximum set or major set or big set or whatnot, or if you have the speed paint 2.0s, or if you have a line of contrast paints already, you're not going to be getting anything new that you don't already have. Now, if you're a new painter, a new person who's new to painting, you don't have a bunch of paints at home, you don't have a bunch of brushes, you see this on a shelf and you're like, man, this looks cool, I just bought a bunch of little mechs, I want to paint them. The set comes with a primer. That's the selling point, I think. That's the point where I have to give it a point in its favor. Another point in the old speed paint's favor versus the new ones is a video by Scalp Miniatures where he talks about the too quick of a drying time for the 2.0s. They did solve the reactivation issue. However, now the paint dries too quickly and it makes it difficult to, say, do like even coats, since you put the paint on there and then it starts to dry too quickly, and when you go on to put another layer around where you already laid some paint, it's already hardening up, and it could potentially cause streaking or other issues, or caking up, or it can start flaking. So that is another point to think about. Again, I'll link that video below so you can see the video yourself. You'll see the review on the 2.0 paints. So, in my opinion, the Battletech paint starter set, because it comes with a primer and it's the same price as the old speed paint starter set, I would give it a yes. Since the old speed paint starter set is listed as the same price as this Battletech one, but the old one doesn't come with a primer, then you are getting more value out of the Battletech set than the old speed paint starter set. Now, there's a caveat there. The new 2.0 speed paint starter set that also doesn't have a primer, it does come with a metallic and a brush for about $4 less, listed on the Ares and Minis website. On the Army Painter site, the MSRP for the Speed Paint Starter Set 2.0 is $40. So what I would say is find whichever one is cheaper than the other, because whether you're buying the old Speed Paint, the new 2.0, or this Battletech set, you're going to be getting roughly the same stuff. So if you can find either one of these three starter sets for cheaper, whichever one is cheaper, so whichever one has the bigger discount, or whichever one is on like the discount shelf, or like the no one's buying this, please just take it from us shelf at your store, get that one, like big time, get that one. I can't say I could justify paying full MSRP for the thing when there are the other two starter sets. So the Battletech paint set MSRP was $40 or $45, but at the Ares Games and Minis it's there for $34. So it's worth it for that price. The old Speed Paint starter set would not be worth it if it's more than the price of the Battletech set, because both of those come with the old Speed Paint formulas. The new Speed Paint starter set 2.0 is going to be more expensive according to MSRP. But if it isn't, if you can find it cheaper when it does come out in June, get that one and test it out. But again, keep in mind the flaws of the 2.0s. So that's it. That's all I have. Those were my opinions. It's what I think is the best value for your dollar. Buy whichever one you can find cheaper. Whichever one you can find cheaper. That's the best bet. Also, buy some makeup brushes. I know it's weird. It sounds weird, but trust me. Buy some makeup brushes. Buy the cheapest ones you could find. The little 99-cent store ones, ones at Walmart. Buy them. They're going to be very useful to you. Mess with them, practice with them. Do like what I did in the video. Use it to put primer on a miniature. It goes on so quick. And if you don't have an airbrush, it's just fun. It's just fun. Even if you have an airbrush, get a makeup brush and just prime mix with a big fat makeup brush. Trust me, it's therapeutic. All right, no more ranting. I'm done. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Thank you to the new guys who've subscribed. Appreciate you guys supporting me. And yeah, you have a good rest of your night. Peace out.